He's an ILWU Local 94 member, and he serves on the PAC for his union. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Councilmember DeLeon, I heard you touch on sheeps and wool clothing with the automation disguised as green. Where do you guys fall on public funds to automate our terminals? And where are you fully aware that those green machines can be made to be operated by humans?
The answer is where I stand, and I think I mentioned, Marcel, a few moments ago, I would not use, as the chief executive of the second largest city in America, any tax dollars, public tax dollars to be utilized for these foreign companies at our ports, at our docks. The bottom line is this: we're not going to be outsourcing, offshoring our jobs. We're not going to be automating our jobs, because they're human beings. These are middle-class folks here, the folks who work their fingers to the bone. These are folks who pay a mortgage. These are folks who take their kids to Little League, to the soccer fields. These are folks who are part of Pedro, we're part of the life of who we are as Angelenos. They're part of the middle class. This is about economic security, not economic insecurity. You know, utilizing technology, like I said, you know, to advance so-called higher and better efficiencies. And what goads me as well too is everyone knows here, you know, that, you know, you're not going to find a bigger environmentalist than me statewide or nationwide. When these private companies, especially the foreign companies, are utilizing automation, you know, as the front to move, you know, they use environmentalism, if you will, as the front to move towards automation. Listen, that is just, like I said a few moments ago, that is a wolf in sheep's clothing. You know, they're trying to decimate, you know, the rank and file members here. I'm not going to stand up for it, because this is about economic security and making sure we actually grow our middle class, not shrink our middle class. Because what we saw with COVID-19 is the rich got richer and the poor got poorer. And we saw epicenters throughout the great city of LA where we had the highest high infections and mortality rates, devastate our communities. We're not going to devastate our longshore workers here in the city of Los Angeles, not if I am the great leader of the great city of Los Angeles. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, council member. Okay, City Attorney Mike Feuer.
I think I can pretty concisely state this, Marcel. You said something that I think is at the essence of the point. You can have clean technology that's operated by people, right? That was your point, and it's right. And I don't know how much more elaboration we need to make on that point. It's a clear and simple commitment, and I'm making that commitment to you today. Thanks for the question.
Okay. Thank you.
Actually, part of my question is, where do you fall on public funds to pay for those machines?
Oh, so I think that public funding should be going toward machinery, tasks that enable us to be both a clean economy and preserve jobs. So I don't want to see public funding go to equipment that displaces jobs here. I want to see public funding going to a process where we can have both clean technology and work, and have our employees continue to be able to be that foundation for the middle class here that we need. I think it's, I guess if I were to cut through it, I'd say it's a false choice at the end of the day to think that on the one hand we have to have a clean environment or a community that dignifies our workers. We can have both at the same time. You're going to hear throughout the debate today, I think there are a lot of false choices that we have around public safety, around homelessness and so on. And I think we need a mayor who can identify that common ground. And that's what you get with me. Thanks very much.
Okay. Thank you, City Attorney. Okay, we are going to go to Council Member Joe Buscaino.
I appreciate the responses, but let me bring it down to the ground level here on what's happening on the street here. Almost every holiday party, we talk about this at my home. Marcel, you know, Brother Jerry, Brother Donnie, sister-in-law Anna, we talk about the future of their work. And under my watch, we are not going to use public funds that will eliminate jobs at our port. We will use public funds to bring in the green technology, that my own brothers and sisters will operate. Let me also bring it down to the ground level. Any of these folks here, as much as I respect them, were they marching with you when we were vetoing that automated permit? I was the only one here on stage with you because I see you, I get you. You are related to me. And let's talk about the future of work. How are we training our workforce down at the docks to operate this type of technology and this type of equipment? We just broke ground. Stood with all 3 local presidents at the port, breaking ground of a training facility to make sure that the future of longshore work is protected, and that my brothers and sisters and family members, cousins, aunts and uncles and friends who I grew up with here are trained to handle that type of work.
Thank you, council member. I knew you'd be excited about answering that one. Congressmember Bass?
That one of the most important issues in our city is income inequality. And if income inequality is one of the most important issues, the last thing in the world that I would want to do would be to use public funds that ultimately could wind up displacing workers. One of the great things about the port is that the jobs there are good middle-class jobs, the type of jobs we need to see more of in all parts of the city. So I would not use public funds to enrich a company or a corporation, but I would use public funds to expand the working class, to help working class people move into the middle class, to expand the jobs and make sure that there's training, the workforce. All of those are good uses for the use of public funds, but not using public funds that can ultimately wind up eliminating jobs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Congressmember.